Hey guys, so the sound quality is probably not going to be the best here, but what I wanted to do was actually go ahead and walk through the NXL Las Vegas layout. Man, I need to go to sleep. Okay, so I'm gonna go through that. I apologize that the sound quality isn't the best, but I want to make sure I got this out for you guys. And then I'll be doing my daily vlog, so you want to make sure that you are subscribed, so that way you can see how we're doing and kind of behind the scenes of pro paintball. So yeah, so I'm gonna go through everything, talk about the different things that we've seen, and kind of traps that you wanna look out for. So if you're playing Vegas, or if you are playing a tournament that is using the Las Vegas layout, then that way you'll be ready for that. But let me just go ahead and I'll jump right into the field. Perfect. All right, so let's start from the home. I'll go snake side, and then I'll move over to the Dorito side. So full disclosure, I didn't play the snake side. I played more of the Dorito side and in the center, but there's still some things that I know that I can help you out with. So first thing is, when I was playing here, there is that gap right there that you can shoot the snake guy going in, or that little Aztec right there. This shot here to shoot for the can is gonna be kind of tough. You might want to throw, maybe 3 balls and then switch over, and that's going to be something that you might be able to catch that guy going out there. So moving actually out to that can. So if we move over here, so this can, what's good is you can help shut down the Dorito side. So this is something that you can have this guy post this way. He can shoot both gaps for the Dorito 1 and the Dorito 2 going into the Dorito 3. Now, for some reason you miss, you're kind of useless past here, but it's something that you might want to do. You can cross up with the tower here, and they can shoot the snake side and help stop the snake from getting in. But this is a good shot over here. And then switching over, you can help with stopping the snake from getting in as well. You can shoot over the top of the 50 snake little, J-Rab was calling it the booty. So you can shoot over the booty, and you're able to shoot that snake corner as well. Just be careful that that paint can come back in on you. Now, something that we did try, and I believe this is the shot, from here, if you shoot that Aztec, it'll bounce into the other can. So if you want to shoot your mirror, that's something that you want to watch out for. So if you look over and you see this starting to get shot, you might want to take a knee or push into it and try to avoid those shots there. So let's go out to the snake corner. So coming out to the snake corner, the only thing I don't like with the snake corner is you can't protect your snake. They can still get up to the 50 snake and you have no idea. So you can shoot over the top, and that'll be something that'll help you out. But yeah, I mean, it's such a far shot that they'd be able to see that on the way in. Now what you can do is shoot over and shoot that tower. Now remember, all these things that I'm saying, they can do the same thing back to you, so you want to be careful of that. But what some of our guys were doing is they would actually come up and dive into this little cake, and at least from here you can stop the 50 snake from wrapping around. So that's something that might be beneficial. The only downside is that it's a small cake, so you want to be careful of those cross shots. Let me move back over to the God bunker, or the Aztec. So this is a good bunker that you can get into. Now you want to be careful again of that tower over there, so they can shoot into this gap right here and kind of stop you from getting into the snake. But this is kind of a good spot that you can use to actually get into the snake. Or if you wanted to run over to this bunker, what's good with this is that you can shoot through the little gap there, and you can kind of stop those guys from moving in. If you switch over to the Dorito side, what's good is now you're a little bit more useful. So let's say you missed that shot. If you came here, it might not be bad to shoot these gaps here, and you can kind of stop those guys. But there are some other bunkers that might be better for that we'll talk about in a second. But maybe you lose those guys. This is an option that you have to shoot these gaps here. When you're actually going into the snake, so the snake one isn't the most useful. You can't really shoot a whole lot. You have to be careful of that back center and that brick. So those are going to be able to shoot you there. Now you can back up a little bit and use these other beams. Maybe shoot the tower, kind of sneak a shot in on them, stuff like that. So I don't know if I would stay here for too long. What most of your kills are going to probably come from is, sorry, this is flipping all over the place. If you wrap you can shoot a couple more spots there. And looks like damage and Nerk Extreme. We're knocking over stuff. Oh, there's paint there. All right. From here, this is actually a good shot in the snake too, to shoot the Dorito too. So you might be able to come up here if you hear that there's a Dorito and no one's shooting at you. You can come up here, pull up, and shoot that guy right away if he's kind of sitting back a little bit. Also, you can lean back a little bit and shoot that tower and the back right. Now just be careful because they can do that to you as well. Once you actually get up into the 50 snake, so you can see that this gap isn't all that huge. So once you get here, you need to make sure that your tape is covered, but what's good is you can start wrapping and actually start shooting people in the back. You're still gonna wanna try to get into like basically their snake one. From there, you're gonna have a lot more shots. You do still have going through this tunnel basically. If you go through this tunnel, you're gonna be able to maybe sneak some shots in, but you have to be careful of the can shooting through the gaps. Sometimes our guys were having issues because some of the players that we played against would have that can shooting through the 50 snake little gap, and it would be skipping through and they weren't able to actually get through. So you want to be mindful of that. But if you can actually get over to their side and get down here, then you can see you have more shots here. And of course, once you get to their snake one, you have a lot more shots. So this is going to be something that's going to be a lot more beneficial if you can. What it looked like was that more of the wins were going to be coming from the snake side and from the center. So speaking of the center, let's go over to the center. So I did play the center a little bit. I think I'm going to be playing like the front on the Dorito, the midpoint of the Dorito, and maybe playing this center spot. We're still finalizing everything, so we have practice on Wednesday and then practice Thursday as well before the event. So as you come up, you want to be careful. Home can shoot back over at you, but you can still kind of stay low and get into this brick. Now what's good with this brick, and what's annoying at the same time, is you can shut down this Dorito side. If they start shooting at you, if you back up and just keep shooting the gap, you're going to be more protected. Just make sure that you are being careful of your feet. I did shoot some people because this started coming up when it inflated a little bit more because of the heat. So as the day goes on, you want to be careful of that. From here as well, you can shoot the little Dorito and it'll bounce in, and I think if I remember right, this Dorito, and it bounces into the other Dorito. This Dorito side is really tough to live in because of the fact that there are so many bounce shots going into different people. Of course, if you stand up over the top, you still have some shots, but you want to be careful because I shot a guy doing that last weekend. If you look this way, I don't know if this is super effective because the snake can come up and kind of sneak shots in on you. And the better move is if you come here, you can kind of pick a side. You can look at the Dorito side, or you can look at the snake side. Now I had come here before, and you can shoot the guy maybe trying to get in, or maybe even try to shoot right into that gap right there for the snake. So if you kind of beat them there. Now a dirty trick you can do is you run up, come up to the center, you push it, and then you run back to here, and basically you're trying to bait them into thinking that you just crashed into the 50, and they're gonna come around looking at that guy, and hopefully you can shoot them before that happens. So if you see that center move, don't necessarily think that that person is still there, because there is that trick that you can do. You have to be careful in this bunker here, this W, because this pin, you can see all the paint on that side. There are bounce shots from the Dorito 1, and I think the Dorito 2 as well. The Dorito 1 plays on the outside. They shoot this pin and it bounces right into you. And this pin here, I think it's the Snake 2 wraps, shoots this and it can bounce right in. So if you start feeling that, then you might need to just get out of there. What's good again with this is once you get up here, one, you need to be really careful of this here. Because of the gap, so you don't want to get shot in the feet. It's kind of like when the X was still around. You didn't want to get shot by that. But again, you still have the same shots, and you can kind of wait for people, and just don't say anything when you're up here. I think you can skip in shots from here, and it goes right in from the Dorito 1. So if that guy is there, and he knows that you're here, and they start shooting this, you need to maybe jump over to the other side. If you come over to this side, yeah, you can still shoot some, but it might just be to maybe bait this guy, thinking that he's okay for him to go, for you to come here. I would not play this can. This can is kind of useless unless you're going to go run and bunker someone, but I don't think it's going to be that useful, just because of, yeah, it's not always the best. So anyways, let's go to the Dorito side now. So I apologize if I miss anything. I'm trying to get this out for you guys so that way you're better prepared for your own tournament. Now, something that works well is when you're running and gunning, shooting out for the deep shot, and then you have your home guy shoot for the shallow shot for the snake. So this guy can shoot the cross, and you can kind of drop it in on the can, the tower, and onto the Aztec as well as the snake corner. So you can kind of hold there if you need to. If you do switch here, you want to be careful, because if they kind of roll off on you, they can shoot this Dorito. This Dorito will bounce into you, so you need to be careful of that bounce shot. So they can kind of roll off and shoot that. Now the good thing is that you can kind of tuck in and shoot gaps. You can shoot the Dorito 2 goes into the Dorito 1, and the Dorito 3 goes into the Dorito 2. Some of them are gonna just kind of make them flinch. It's not necessarily like it's gonna kill them every single time, but sometimes that works out well. What's good though is if you go to this tower, you are able to come over to the Dorito corner, and the Dorito corner, you can kind of shoot down on that brick, because that's the guy that's really going to be stopping the Dorito side as well as the tower. So you might be able to pull the guns higher so that your front guy can go and stay low, but you do want to be careful. I got bounced on the first weekend. I think it was from the can or the tower. They can shoot over the top and hit you. So you want to make sure that when you're playing this, that you're really hugging it, so that way you're pushed into it. And also what's good is you can kind of go and then just dive straight in. You of course have to be careful of the center. The center on this field is going to be super deadly. So it's kind of like the wall when we had that, the W. It's just, yeah, it's not the most fun to have to deal with that. But anyways, this Dorito 1 was pretty easy to make. I don't think I ever got bounced going in, except for there was one time I got shot. So one time I got shot going in here, but other than that, every single time you can make it here pretty easy, because there's so much stuff in the way. The only downside is when you get here, shooting inside isn't going to be super effective. Yes, you can shoot the can, so that's good. If they do have that center pop, you can kind of shoot and try to bounce it in from the can there, but you have to be careful, because they can bounce it off this Dorito into you. And yeah, some of the guys are just going to be waiting as well. So you want to slow play this Dorito side a little bit more than you would on other layouts, because you can see by the time you know that the guy is there in that little W, he's already going to shoot you. You're already about halfway to the Dorito 2. So if they're waiting for you, you're dead. And also right here is where they can see you from the center. So if you don't check that off here, even if they're tucked in, you still want to kind of wrap and shoot until you confirm that there's no one in the center. It's going to be risky to try to get over to the Dorito 2. So I learned that the hard way. I had to kind of slow down and like hit the gas and brake, hit the gas and brake, and that's the way that you're going to be able to move up on this side. So once you get into the Dorito 2, you have a little bit more cross field. So if you have someone in the center, it's going to help to have maybe this guy shoot inside, because this way, if they try to shoot this bounce shot off the little Dorito, it's not going to be coming too close to you. So if you're hanging out on the tape, then yeah, you have to worry. But on the inside shot, you can shoot that tower if they're hanging out. And I can't think of others. So let's move into Dorito 3. So, of course, be careful of the center every single time that you move up on the Dorito side, because if they're waiting for you, then they're going to be, if they're patient, they'll be able to kill you. If they start shooting, then they're going to give away their spot. So you want to make sure that you are confirming that there isn't anyone there. Now, with this Dorito side, they can kind of shoot down the tape once you get out to the Dorito 3, this little Dorito here. So you want to be mindful of that. But the good thing is that actually, from the Dorito 3 here, you can kind of shoot a little bit of the snake over here. There were some times that we were playing that little cake over there, so it's not bad to come here and shoot that, as well as shooting the tower or the back left, that snake side. So that is a good shot there. Once you get up into this Dorito, again, be careful of the center. Every single time you move up on the D side, you really need to be careful of the center. So when you come up over here, honestly, the winds are really going to be coming from the center and the snake side. There was only maybe a couple points that we won on the Dorito side this weekend. It's not the most fun layout for a Dorito player, but sometimes you just need to be the one that kind of sits back a little bit more. But anyways, so you can kind of wrap, you can see the home, and of course you need to be careful always of this brick, just because they can always wrap, and I'm sorry, not wrap, they can kind of push in and still be shooting in front of you here and be waiting for you to go. So you just need to be careful of that. And of course, if you get over to their side, because there is no 50 Dorito, there's just their side of the Dorito, you're going to be able to shoot some people in the back here. And then of course, if you have your tape, it's going to make it easier to shoot some people in the back. So I talked about some of the other bounce shots. There was one that I forgot, so I'm going to walk back. And I'm sure you're loving this amazing content of me walking back to the back center. Okay, so the back center, there's a shot that works pretty well. If you shoot here, you bounce it off the other tower and it bounces into the other home. So if they're looking this way, one of our guys, when I tested it, I shot him twice doing it. And yeah, it's a good shot just to remember, just to kind of throw that way. And it might work, it might not. Maybe the guy is over here looking this way and you don't shoot him, but if he is posted this way, it's something to remember. So if you are playing the spot, you see that start getting shot, you might need to kind of move in and maybe shoot up over the top to keep your lane, or maybe play the wrap low, and that way you can still keep shooting. All right, so that is the NXL Las Vegas layout. So I apologize for not having, I'm gonna go in the shade. Sorry if the stuff gets a little bit messed up, but I need to get, there we go. All right, I know I am super dark here, but I don't want to be standing in the sun. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not having a self-playing critique for the second week of the layout. So I think what I'm going to start doing, and I apologize for this, but there is a method to my madness. For the first weekend, there's a lot of stuff that we're trying. So what I'll do is I'll still put out the self-playing critique and the raw footage for the rest of the season for that stuff. But once we actually get into like really playing for the layout, we're trying some other stuff, and I just don't want to have a chance that someone else sees that. So I apologize to you guys. I'll still go through and do this kind of stuff. I think this will be good. Tell me in the comments if you like this. I just don't want there to be another team that somehow sees what we're doing or hears a code or something like that that we were trying that worked. If some of them watch, because I know that like Matt Sossman on Revo watches. So hey Matt, if you're watching this one. But yeah, so he coaches Revo. If we play Revo, I don't want them to know some of the stuff that we're doing. So the first week you're trying a lot of stuff, but the second week you're really dialing in. And yeah, so like I said, we are going to practice on Wednesday and Thursday. So I'll be doing the vlog then. So you want to make sure that you subscribe, as well as I'll get to show you guys our new jerseys, our new guns, the new gear that we're getting. So yeah, it's going to be really nice to get that. And I can kind of walk around. So is there anyone that you want me to maybe interview, talk to, any sort of company that you want me to walk into and have them talk about stuff? Put that in the comments down below as well. That raffle that I was talking about is going to have to wait, just some logistics. I'm sorry, but it's going to have to wait till right after Las Vegas. I want to try to get it done then, but there's some logistics that came up of me getting some of the items for the raffle. So we need to figure that out first, but it will be coming. So make sure that you are subscribed so that way you know when it's going to be coming. But hopefully this helps you guys out. Thank you for the support. It's cool seeing the comments in there and seeing like Go ML Kings and stuff like that. So thank you. I know that we're kind of like the underdogs this year. So yeah, it's gonna be a good season. So I'm glad with the guys that we have on the team. There was no fighting. No one yelled at each other. So it was good to just already have that good chemistry. So that's a good first thing to have. So I'm gonna go home. So I have work Monday and Tuesday, and then I fly out Wednesday. So I will see you guys on Wednesday. I'll try to get the videos up as soon as I can, like that day for the day 1, 2, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I guess I'll see you then. And as always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.